Hi there guys, welcome back. So we're going to continue with this section. So I'm just going to fill this up. And again, I know that this is just flat geometry, so we're going to fill this up. So what we can do is we can just first of all, I don't think it makes any, well, yeah, let's do it like that. So I'm going to go here into geometry and I'm just going to fill this hole, okay? Because there's a hole open there. So I'm going to go into modify topology, just close hole, and you get this, okay? Again, it doesn't understand what's happening. You just create the best it can just to wrap something and smooth it out for you. And again, if you are in move mode, if you press Control Shift and click here, it will mask everything else and then keep that section unmasked. Now, at the moment we want symmetry on, so we need to get rid of symmetry because let me show you what happens if I don't get rid of symmetry. So I press this button and I reset the gizmo, and then I press it right in the middle. You see it press it here, and it can be in either side. So when I move things around, you can see, okay, when I lock here and I move things around, you can see it just does symmetry. I don't want symmetry for now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press X to get rid of symmetry. And now when I unlock this, reset it, and then put it back to the middle, this is the middle, or the center of the unmasked mesh, and lock it again, now I'm in a very good position. So again, I press Control to actually extrude it. You can see that now the lines are clean. What you can do is move it to one side because we're going to scale it in Z. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control, click and hold, and then move it to this side. And then I'm going to scale it to 0. Okay. And, or at least it doesn't have to be 100%, but just get it as close as possible. The closer it is, the easier it's going to be for you the system to create the edges. So if I do that, you can see everything is nice and clean, but obviously technically there's something wrong here because the geometry is just there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to draw. I'm going to press Control Shift, click on here. I'm going to press Control Shift, click and drag, and it's going to hide. Okay, I'm going to show everything first. I'm going to press Control Shift, click here, Control Shift, click and drag, control this, control that. And where is that dude gone? Yeah, it's there. So again, I'm going to press Control Shift, click here. Then I'm going to invert it. 1 second, why is not doing it? Let me undo all this stuff. So this is a different thing. So I'm going to, okay. The thing is, I have to, let me double check that I don't have the Dynamesh, the Seri mesh, the Dynamesh on, which is not. So I'm going to press Control, click and drag. So everything else is everything is shown. So I'm gonna press Control Shift and click on that one there. Hide it. Oops. I'm gonna press Control Shift, click there, invert it, invert. Why doesn't want to work? Okay, why doesn't want to work? Okay, this is one there. Is that? Am I have everything? Oh, everything was masked, that's why. I couldn't select the guide, my bad. So I'm going to show everything, again, because I forgot to clear the mask. And because the geometry is too dense, I cannot see the mask. So I'm going to press Control, Shift, and click here. Okay, I'm going to press Control, Shift, click and drag, so it gave me the opposite. And I'm just going to hide everything else. And I think, why are these guys? Okay, let me undo this, all this stuff again. Let's start again. I think I should have kept everything in a single polygroup. I think that's what I should have done. Okay, let's start again here. So we got this, and I'm going to make a polygroup out of this. So I have everything in a single sub-polygroup. That's it. So when I create the fill group, it will fill close hole. It will create me one polygroup just for that, so it will be easy to select. So what I can do is I can go into geometry and then go into modify topology and then hit close hole. And again, I have that there. I'm going to press Control Shift, selection. I'm going to go into move, Control Shift and click on here. So that's the only one selected. I make sure that Z is off. I think it's off the symmetry. When I click this button to unlock it, reset it, move it back to the middle of the unmasked mesh. And then I lock it again, and then I press Control, and I move it to the side. I this, and then I'm going to scale it to 0. There. Okay, now, I close the zeros I want to. So when I press Control Shift, and I'm gonna press Control, click and drag. You see now the mask is off. Control Shift, click here. So the other guy got hidden. I'm gonna press Control Shift, click and drag. So I invert the mask, and now the only one is this one that is showing. Okay, so that's fine. I'm going to undo that, Control Z, and now I'm gonna tell him to, in modify topology, tell him to delete the hidden. And now I have all the crispy edges here that I want, but I have that hole. And that hole I will be able to fix it by just going into Dynamesh. This is too high perhaps, put it to 200, and then hit the button, Control, click and drag, and it will fill that hole, you see. And then the edges we kept as crisp as possible. You see it's not enough, you can see undo. It was crispy before, and then we need to increase this a little bit. 300, and press Control, click and drag. That's much better, okay? You can always increase the blur in here by increasing a little bit, and it will give you smoother edges like that. You see, it's up to you. But remember, this is a block out, so for now it's okay. So again, I'm going to show the rest. You can see you've got 2 pieces there, okay? Now I'm going to create a section on top of this. So I can probably, for now, I'm going to create some sort of cutout on this, or maybe divide into, I don't know, I haven't planned anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this guy, okay, and then what I can do is I can duplicate it, but within the same subtool if I want to, or I can duplicate it here and create an extra subtool. So how can I do that? Okay, I'm just gonna clip it and then move it out and clip it. Yes, what I'll do. Okay. So I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it. So again here into, this is just ideas, guys, for you to play around, and then I want you to do it. Try to do as much. Have a look at the tutorials, and then trying to implement them in your project, and then I will answer the individual question, because every single project is individual. I cannot just do something that caters every single one of your shapes and project. I cannot do that. It's impossible. But if you start doing it and you get stuck, that's what I come in. Okay, I can, if I want, I can just go here into move and then press Control, and then literally I will make a copy of this. I can do that just like the other ones before, or I can just duplicate it. Okay, let's do that. Let's move it up here as it is. So when I press Control, move it up, so I have it there, somewhere there. Okay, let's somewhere around there. A little bit of an overlap there. Okay, I'm just gonna go here. I'm gonna press Control, click, drag this, but then I'm gonna clear this. I'm gonna give you a different color. So I'm gonna go into polygroups, and I said auto groups. So you see it analyzed that those two are different meshes, and then it'll automatically give me something in there. Yeah, give me a different one. So I'm gonna press Control Shift, and I'm gonna use this time. I'm gonna use the trim curve. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this down like here. See, oops, not that one. I want to. In that case, I need to mask the other one. Okay, because that's in a single subtool. So I'm gonna press Control and click on this one. Sorry, Control Shift, click on this one. I'm gonna press Control click to mask it. Control Shift click, everything else. So this one is masked, so it's not gonna be touched. I'm gonna press Control Shift, and then I'm going to draw this here. So you can see it's clipped there, or in this case is trim. You see, create a nice clean geometry. And then here I'm gonna press, let me do it in the positive, because it doesn't work with symmetry. I'm gonna press Control Shift. I'm just gonna do this on the opposite side, so top down. Do that. Then I'm just gonna, no that way. I'm gonna flip it that way. And then I'm gonna do mirror and well. Okay, so I can get rid of this. See if it works in the same subtool. I'm gonna try that. Mirror and well. Why it doesn't? Well, it does the whole thing, but it's symmetrical. It's fine. So you see, I have another piece in here. Okay, and this piece I can just probably press Control Shift and then clip it even further, like not like that, obviously like this, or I can probably give a little bit of a curvature. Let's give it a little bit of curvature here, like this, something like that. So I'm gonna press Control Shift, not like that. I'm gonna press Control Shift here, okay, and then I'm gonna press Alt once around there, and then around there again, and then I'm just gonna create this. And if I want, I can press the space bar and then move this side in if I want to. Let's undo that again. Control Shift, and then I'm just gonna drag in here. Okay, Alt. Oops. I'm gonna press Control Shift, drag, recall that, press Alt. Okay, and then do it again. Yeah, something like that. No, something like this. This is a block out, so it shouldn't be that specific. Huh, you didn't cut that out. What did I do wrong? Maybe let's have a look again. Let's do that again this way. Control Shift, and Alt. For the sake of argument, let's do it like this. Okay, somebody a round edge there. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, no biggie. Okay, and then I'm gonna do the mirror and well, so I can have it do this. That's fine. Okay, so I have that. Now I want to work on this one individually. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do again polygroups. I'm going to do auto groups, so it knows that there are two separate meshes, so they give me two colors. And then here in the subtool, I'm going to split them based on the groups. I say okay. Now this one I'm going to move it up. Okay, with this button you move it up. With this button you move it down. And this is only for going down through the actual scrolling down or through the actual list of subtools. So here, and then this one you move it up all the way on top. So you got that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to create I want to create a series of cutout that goes like, I don't know, squares like this, loads of squares. Okay, if I want to do that, then it would be too many. Okay, I have to go and do one by one and then cut. There's too many of them doing the strip. But there is a tool set here called the Boolean tool. The Boolean tool is pretty cool because what it does, it just takes this geometry and then it works and creates another geometry and you cut things out. So you actually create some copies of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it actually down so I can work on the bottom one and ignore these two. So I'm only going to be working on this. Okay, and then here what I can do is I'm going to append the piece that I'm going to actually cut out. So if I want to do something that is a little bit like round like this, then I'm going to insert a sphere. So I'm going to go here into append and I'm going to append one of the subtools that comes with set brush. So I'm going to click here, set tool, set sphere. Obviously it's huge, it's here. It's going to scale it to that position. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it in the Z axis towards this side like this. Okay, and you can do that. You can either do it with this, but you want to do it precisely, you can just go here into the formation and you specify which of the axes you're going to be cutting out. So, you're going to be rotating. So you go here and rotate. You say, I'm going to rotate in the Z axis. That's perfect. And you click on this orange button and you type. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. You can see that's what I did. And then I'm going to, with all those axes selected, I'm going to say size and I'm going to make it small like this. Very small. Okay. Okay. I can then move them up with offset. I want to move it in the Y. So I'm going to say Y. I'm going to put it there, what I think it's going to be. And I'm just going to still make it small. Because you understand that the center was there where we did something like that. I'm going to offset it more. You can do this with these tools, guys, if you want. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. And then how I'm going to scale it that encompass this section. So I'm going to scale it in this case in the x-axis. So and this will be the size. So I'm going to uncheck x, z and y and then keep x, and then I'm going to do this. Okay, something like that. Okay, and now I'm going to move it up a little bit. Just so you can know how to use it, guys, but you don't have to. Like I said, you can use the other one. So I'm going to do that. And now it's easier for me just to, I'm going to go into unlock, reset, move it to the center, lock it again. And then I'm going to do this, and I'm just going to apply the stuff that we did before, which was the with the control. If you go one copy, then you can just make another copy. Okay. And then I'm gonna go here into draw, clear the mask, and then we move. Now I'm gonna move two at the same time. Control. Okay, and I'm just eyeballing them. There's a way to do it more accurately, but I don't care at the moment. So I'm gonna press Control, clear the mask, move, and then again Control, and I'm gonna move 4. Okay, and then again press Control, draw again, move, and you press now. You're gonna move them all. Let me zoom out so I know where I am. So I'm gonna press Control, and I'm just gonna move them roughly there. I'm going to move in a way, so I probably could have just move it there, control this, and then I'm not going to press control this time. I'm just going to align it so I don't have one hanging here. Let's see if I can do that. It doesn't matter, just I'm not eyeballing things. So what I do is I'm going to take this geometry and I'm going to use it as a geometry that will allow me to cut those holes into this section. Okay, so how do I do that? So you need to work in the subtools. So the first thing you need to do is you need to have visible the tools that are going to be working for doing this. Okay, so these two are hidden. Okay, now these two are available, so you're going to work on these two. So this is going to be the union, and this is going to be the merge section, the second one, the union. But then first you need to switch this button on, live boolean. Seems like nothing happened, and what it's doing is just pretty much combining these two geometry. The default operation of the boolean is to have these two subtools that are visible, and then it will look at these icons in here. This icon here is for union, so it's giving me this is in union, this is in union, and give me the union of both. This is the difference. You can see it's a little bit of a difference, and this is the combination of both, or the overlap. So if I put this guy to union, to the difference, and then I get rid of this, you can see now that I created a cutout. Look in there nicely. Okay, so I press F again. If I can see you, look. So I have now cut out that geometry from the other geometry. Okay, let me take this out. Take this out. Let me put tools back here. I made a mistake here. Tools. Click and drag, and I have tools. So now these two are visible, and now I'm cutting out this geometry, this copy from this. Now if I keep this one here and I put this button there, you see it's giving me the difference of these two, the ones where things overlap. So this is a geometry where this shape overlap with this shape. This here is giving me where this shape is cutting out, or the difference from this shape. So one became positive, one becomes negative, and then if you put it in union, if nothing happens, it just combines them together. Okay, and if you hit this button again, if you have this button here on, you can roughly see in this hash sort of UI viewport overlay, you can see that this is the stuff that I have selected. If I do select one, you can see the other one is selected. But this is just a way to know that your boolean is on. If you uncheck boolean, nothing happens. Okay. Now at the moment this is only a preview section. Okay. If you have this, if you want to commit to this, then what you have to do, okay, is going into the subtool in the subsection here, tell them, hey, this boolean here, make it a boolean mesh, and it will combine it and it will put it here in this tool section as an extra subtool. Okay. So what you can do is you can keep these two, you can come back to this, you can hide them, and then bring this one in. Now the boolean works with the subdivision as well, this dynamic subdivision. So at the moment, this guy here, let me uncheck this. I'm just going to hide this. This guy here hasn't been subdivided. It happens to be quite fairly high res. So if you go here into geometry, and if you go into dynamic subdivision and you hit this button, you are in dynamic. It means that this is smoother. So when you apply these two visible, and then you have boolean on, and you want to make it, you have to make sure that the allowed dynamic subdivision is on. So whatever subdivision the geometry has, it will be applied, and it will have a nice crispier edge. So, oops, what did I do? Oh man, this keyboard. I don't know why it's happening this way. It's just the Huion sound. It doesn't happen with it. So I'm gonna press Control, click and drag. Okay, I masked it by mistake. So I have these two. So I'm gonna show you in a second what happened with and without. So I think, so if you have a look here, dynamic subdivision is on, so it will be smoother when you cut it out. If you have a shape that is quite rough and you have small subdivisions on, it will be smooth. So whenever you commit to this geometry, then you will have a geometry that actually has the edges cut out properly. So again, if you have this on and you hit this button, it will take these two and it will add it somewhere here. You can see here, it's called the U-mesh merge. So you click here, you can see, you hit that. Oh my god, again. It does this, the old button gets stuck for some reason. You can see, look, it cuts them out, you see? It took the other one and it combined it, look, with the other one. And because the other one was quite high res, it did it. Okay? So, if you don't have the subdivision on, then this will be the same resolution as the original one without this dynamic subdivision. So this one is already there. So if you want to go back to the original, you see it's still there. You want to come back to this later, then you can just go into Subtool, hide them. Okay, hide both, but then append the one you just created, which is this one. You see it's right there. And then these two, keep in there. And this is the one you're going to be working on, look. So this is the one, together with this, together with this. Let's move it up. And then these two, you can have them for later, for another, if you're going to continue working and you want to do something else. You can see now that I cut out that geometry in there. Look, it's nice and crisping. And this is what I mean, guys, when I told you should have a block out your stuff. It's something that should look no more than this. Okay, so for the people who do mechanical stuff, this is one way of doing things. So this is the easiest, guy. I think I covered pretty much everything you need for you to block things out. Apart from that line that we talked about, this line is a bit more advanced, and it's still not 100%. That's because it's just, I mean, like I said, there are ways to make that more elegant, those feel. But I think for you guys to use learning, I think this would be the easier for you to understand before you move on to something more in depth later on. But for now, you can see that this is just something in there that you can just work on. So you can start, I mean, I started with cube, but you can start with a sphere if you want. And let me say this so I can. So if I start with anything else like this, or even if I start with this one, I already said that doesn't matter. So if I start with this one, then this one doesn't have good topology. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reinitialize set brush. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna create a set sphere, draw it. Okay, change the material. Okay, I'm going to make it. This is fairly big, I think. I think this is fairly big. How can I do this? Nice, easy. I'm gonna go into initialize, and I'm going to change the. I covered this at the beginning, guys. The classes. I'm gonna put this to not too much like this. Not that many. Like that. Like that. And I'm going to turn it into polymesh 3D so I can actually work on it. And then I'm going to rotate it. The formation here. I'm going to rotate it in Z, sorry. So rotate, I'm going to click here, I'm going to type 90. Okay. Half an hour there, okay. And then I can just start working from this shape if I want to. I can just press Control Shift, go into the trim curve, and I can just make sure that I don't have symmetry on. So I want to clip only this side. You can see I got that, and then I can just press Control Shift. I'm going to move, and I'm going to press Control Shift, click here. Again, take this guy, reset it, move it to the middle, lock it again. Okay, and then I press Control, and I can strew this out. Look. Okay, and then I can just go here and here, and then go into this section, and then I'm going to clear the mask. And then this time I'm going to need symmetry, because I started on the, I did it wrong, I did it on the Z axis, so I need a symmetry on the Z. It's up to you guys, or I can just rotate it before I mess it up more. So I can just take this guy, and I'm going to rotate it in the Y axis. I'm going to rotate in 90 degrees. So I'm going to go here into rotate, Y, click here. I'm going to type 90. So it's the way it should be, facing forward. Now I'm going to press X for symmetry, so I have the X symmetry. Okay, so now I'm going to do it in the positive. Okay, and then I'm going to go here into Control Shift. I'm going to do that. Okay, it gave me a fairly low res, but that's fine for now. Okay, and then I'm going to go into Geometry, Modify, Mirror and Well. I got that. I'm going to trim it down here. I'm going to Control Shift and do this. Okay, fairly low res as well. If I want to have better topology, say, well, this is not going to be enough. I can say, well, this is one piece that I do in the block out. You can say that if you want. You can, I don't know, Control Shift. I don't think that's going to work, but I'll let go of that. Alt. Okay, no, it's not going to do it because it doesn't cut it properly. So you say, well, I like this, but it's not enough geometry. That's fine. You can just go here. I'm going to work with a little bit more. Then you go into the Dynamesh section and you play around with it. You hit Dynamesh. See, okay, that's fairly good. It gave me 50,000. That's fine. Then you can say, well, this jaggedy things, I don't like it because it's too blocky here. So I'm going to polish it. So I can just blur it here a little bit. And then here I can improve it by going to deformation. And then polish here as well more. If I want to, give more. And sort of give me this nice smooth section. And then here I can then go in this section and I press here, Control Shift. And then when I let go of that, I'm going to press Alt twice. And I clip that. Had the same issue as before. You go here, move. You press Control Shift. Click on that one. Unlock it. Reset it. Put it in the middle. The same issue with the symmetry that we have. We press X for now to get rid of the symmetry. We put it right in the middle now. We lock it. Okay. And now again we press Control, click and hold, move it to one side just to know that it's been nicely extruded. Then we scale it in that axis. Okay, like that. We go here. You can actually go and clip it again, say remesh and clip this, but I think it's easier. So you take that and you press Control Shift, make sure you're in selection, click on that, click on the other one, go in here, mesh, delete hidden, done. Then look at these nice edges, are nice and crisp-ish. Then you go, you like that, then you go into Dynamesh with that same resolution. See what happened? Because it's on the button, you press Control, click and drag. Clear the mask once, Control, click and drag, and it does it. It's a little bit low res, doesn't matter because you're blocking things out. If you want, you can just increase a little bit, perhaps not too much, 190 something, and then see how much you go. 100,000, that's fine. You think the polish is too much? It's a post processing, so you can go back to 7. Something you see keeps more of the original shapes, and then you go. You want to cut out something like this. Fine, you can just go here. This is what action is. That's X, so we can need a symmetry for that. Press. I don't think. Well, we're gonna be clipping, so we don't need the symmetry. We cannot do the symmetry because it doesn't work. So we need to do it in the positive. Press Control. Go into trim. Then here you press Alt twice or once. Doesn't matter. Cut them out. That's fine, and then you do the same thing, and then you mirror to the other side. I think it's too much, perhaps something like this, like that. Okay. Again, the same issue. Press Control Shift. Make sure you move. Click there. Everything else is sorted. This time I don't have to get rid of symmetry because I'm going to mirror after I fix it. There's no point in fixing and then doing the fix one by one. So I'm going to do one fix and then I mirror the fix. So I'm going to go into unlock it, reset this. Okay, lock it again. Then reset it. Oops, unlock it, reset it. If you don't unlock it, guys, you reset it. Look, you move everything out. So you have to unlock the gizmo first, reset it, and then lock it. You can do it with Alt. I think with Alt, something like that, you have to do it with. I can't remember which one. Okay, so do that. Oops, not that. Yeah, you have to unlock it. Do that. Oops. Unlock it, reset it, lock it again. Done. Okay, so we press Control, move this guy there. You can see it's nice crisp edges. Then we scale it to 0. Doesn't matter where you put it because you're gonna delete it. Okay, it's there. Go back to Draw. Control Shift, Selection. Click in there. Okay. Control Shift, click and drag. That stuff is hidden. Let's delete it. Fine. Then going back to Dynamesh. See, it's a hole in there. That resolution worked for us before. 3 is fine because Control click and drag, clear the mask. The second one, it will trigger the algorithm. You see, nice. Now that we have this section done, then we mirror to the other side. In this case, we just say mirror and well, and that's it. Instead of fixing one by one, you fix one and then the rest propagate it. Okay. And then let's have a look. And that's how you start. And then you think you're gonna cut out something here that is really complicated. Again, you say, well, I'm gonna cut out a hole that goes all the way through, all the way at the end. A hole in the middle. That's fine. You go here. You go into a pen. You append in this case, a cylinder. Okay. This cylinder is this one here is fairly distributed the geometry. We need to put it through here, so we're gonna rotate it, and this case is gonna rotate in the x-axis, this axis. So we're gonna go into deformation, sorry, and we go into one of the sections here that says rotation. We're gonna rotate in the x-axis, the one that is rotating like this one here. So we need to select it here, and then we tell them I'm gonna rotate on X. I'm gonna click on this orange, and I know that it's gonna be at 90 degrees angle, so I'll press 90, and that's that. I'm going to change its size. Oops, why did I rotate it again? For some reason you undo that. So size is too big. Okay, if you want to put it here like a gun, if you want to combine it, you can do that as well. That's another idea. Look, so this is like a gun thing. Do you want to combine these two? That's fine. All you have to do is use the booleans and then make sure they're both combined and then turn into a geometry and you got both things done. But for now, I'm just going to cut it out here. So I'm going to go and make it smaller by going into deformation. Again, guys, you can do it this with this. It's the same. Look. I can do the same. Actually, let's do it. I'm going to move it up. Probably it's faster. Again, if you want to combine it, let's say that this is some sort of gun barrel thing, but you need to have the actual cutout. So I'm gonna scale it down a little bit, and this is what we're gonna do. How we're gonna do it? So I'm gonna keep it like here. But this is the one that's gonna be cut out. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Look what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep this here, and this is the top that is going to be, I don't know, like there. Okay, something like that. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna scale it down. This is another idea, guy, for you. So I'm gonna make it longer like that. Okay, and just gonna move it a little bit so it's a little bit. I want to see a little bit of this here. So okay, so I'll take this guy. Okay, and I'm gonna duplicate it. And this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna duplicate it. And I'm gonna go this and it's gonna duplicate. So I have it here already. So I'm going to hide it for now. I'm gonna keep these two guys working. Okay. I'm gonna cut out this from this, and then this is the actual part of the thing. They're gonna be there, the actual gun. You will see in a second. This is how we should do it. You go in there, okay. In order for you to give a little bit of a room there, then you need to make it a little bit bigger. So you can actually scale it up a little bit, or you can just go here into deformation, and there is a section here called inflate, and just inflate it a tiny touch, and it does it in all axes. Okay. Something like that. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, okay, this is going to be positive, the union, and this is going to be the negative of that, okay, and that one there is going to be with the live boolean, and it's going to be something that works. Doesn't work? Oh, there it is. Just didn't work. Now, this is a good example, guys. Look, this stuff here is quite jagged because the geometry we have, it is quite jagged. Look. So what happens if I subdivide this dynamically? Subdivide dynamic, doesn't matter the edges because it's not going to affect it. So when I do this and I hit Boolean, look at that, it's nice and smooth. This one here, let's ignore it for now, but you can see that this is nice and smooth. Look what happened if I didn't have the subdivision. You see how jagged it looks? And if you want to fix that, you can just bring it back in more if you want, but that's fine. So dynamic subdivision is there. Okay, now these two together, okay, is these two working, okay? And in Boolean, we still haven't committed, so we go here into Boolean, tell them to allow subdivision, so whatever we subdivide this, it's going to be part of the geometry, and we say make Boolean mesh. And it adds it here somewhere, which is this guy, look, it's already there, look. So what we can do is we can take this, and we can append it to the one we're working. So I'm going to get rid of the live Boolean, because this is only for building this. I'm going to hide this, I'm going to hide this, and I'm just going to append that one I just created. This one, you see, is there. And this is the one we want to see this. You can see that because we inflated, look, there's a little bit of a edge in there. Okay. Now this one we're going to move it down. So in this one you can keep in there or you can just delete them. It's up to you. But you can see now that I have that barrel there. Okay. There. You can see that, yep. And I have this geometry here that has a very elaborate cutout. You can see the geometry there, look. It cut there, and it gave me this nice edge on in there, okay. Later on, when you have a mesh like this, you say, well, I'm gonna now do like a nice mesh thing, and you use the stuff that I told you, the Z remesher. But that's a bit more advanced, we're not gonna do that for now, but you can see here that I created that shape in there using just this. So this is the kind of stuff that I tell you when I say blocking out. I don't want things like that. If you want something that is quite organic, then you have to sort of mold it a little bit and shape it, and then you do the actual shaping out, and then you just once you have the block out done, okay? So, and this is where I'm going to continue because I think this is it for now, guys. You should have enough information here to do your block out for that, for using booleans or using these methods. Okay, so again, like I said at the beginning, I cannot cover every single scenario, guys, because it's every single project is unique. But it's a way of you trying to find ways to put things together. And don't be for the block out thing. You can have as many as you want. Okay, this doesn't matter. For the characters, yes, we put 3 for now, but then later they're gonna be more. It's just a different project. But at the end of the day, you should be able to have enough information here to work. There are some brushes that you can do to create some really cool stuff that we can probably gonna go through another time, like when we start sculpting. But for now, you can do. If you want to improve this, you can use brushes like the Edge Polish brush. There's one here called the Edge Polish. The Train Dynamic Train. Those brushes are quite interesting to create things. Polish. There's one here called Edge Polish. Let me type Edge. Yeah, Edge Polish. And Edge Polish, what it does is create these sort of edges like that. They are quite hard like this. You can create this, but it's a bit more organic. And but you can then take the thing here and then polish it a little bit. It does help, but it's a bit tricky because at the moment we're just blocking things out. So make sure you mirror the shape the best you can. If you want to create something that is quite clip and polished like that later on, there are ways to do it, but I'll show you. But for now, just block things out, okay? Okay, that's it for now, guys. You see my voice is going now. I think we done, wow, like we did like a hour and a half, nearly 3 hours, 2 hours and a half, I think, roughly all these sections. So I'm gonna put that today. Then you should be able to have it to work on as soon as possible. And I'm gonna put tomorrow another one with the continuation from the character, so we can start putting the actual sculpting, putting together things and then shaping things out a little bit, using a little bit of anatomy. Okay, that's it for now, guys. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you on Monday when I see you. Okay, bye bye.